Hey guys, Henning and Morten from FlippedNormals here. And in this video, we would like to show off our lighting scene that we have available for V-Ray, Arnold, and MODO. So in this example, we're going to be showing you some live stuff from the V-Ray version, but they are basically identical and function the same way.
So one of the main things here is that this is available for Arnold, which comes with every copy of Maya now. So if you have access to Maya, you should be able to run this lighting scene pretty flawlessly.
Exactly. The only one you would have to purchase an extra thing for would be V-Ray.
Yes.
Because MODO, the rendering engine, is built in as well.
Yeah.
So, but in the lighting scene, we've expanded it since our first release, which I think included 12 lighting scenes. There's an extra one, a bonus one, a 13th one. But now we have 20.
Yeah.
So we've expanded that and improved upon it a little bit. And I think the nice thing about the lighting scene is it's so fast and so responsive to play around with. It makes it really easy to concept up lighting and like get a different feel for your scene and how you want your subject to look. Like we can just really quickly change into a different scene here. So I'm using the V-Ray IPR feature, which is like the live rendering, just so I can get a feel for how would it look once I actually use the production render.
Exactly the same in Arnold and MODO as well. You have the preview for both of those.
So really quickly you can start playing around with, oh, okay, I want this to look like this, or I want it to look like something else. We've bundled it with a bunch of different materials as well that sort of fit with. So we have assigned colors to the background and to the numbers corresponding to a different material that we made that we think look the best. But feel free to mess around with any material and like try to create your own to see what suits you the best.
You can totally use any materials like which you made yourself, or you can assign your own shaders or anything.
Yeah.
This here was really made out of something that we needed ourselves. It was that we would just render our own stuff all the time. We would do all these like speed sculpts and just final sculpts here where we would just need nice renders of it. So instead of having to set up the studio setup every single time, we just made a setup here which contained original like 13 setups. So we can just drag and drop a model or straight OBJ from ZBrush into Maya and just start lighting it. One of the key things here was that, yeah, sure, we can do this from scratch. Like we can just set up the area lights and all that, but it's really that you can experiment with this. You can, in just a few minutes, you can have 10 different light setups and you can present that to a client. You can take it into Photoshop yourself and just see what works best for you. Instead of spending hours trying out different light setups, you already have them predefined. One of the cool things as well is that all the light setups can change the look drastically. Like if you were to like take this into Photoshop, do some hue and saturation on it, it would look very different. If you take the lights and just rotate them around, you get a completely different feel for them. So while there are like 20 actual unique setups, we in reality have like essentially unlimited versions here. Like you can already see right now what Morten is doing here. It's a completely different look. And if you had a chrome shader in this or a subsurface scattering shader, it would just be very different.
Yeah, and you can go in and obviously, because it's just basically a lighting scene that we've made ourselves. So you can go in, customize all the lights. Let's say you just wanted this light, or maybe you just want the bounce light to be turned on again, and tweak it, make your own lights. But it comes shipped with these 20 setups that makes it really easy for you as a starting point. But we are seeing tons of people using our lighting scene and have seen it over the past many years now, and it's become a very popular way to light your models and present it because it's just really fast. Even if it's for a still render or if it's for your showreel or whatever it is, I think it's a cool way to just really quickly just show off your model.
I had a friend of mine actually who made this entire showreel in this, and then that was when he got hired at the DNEG on Double Negative. So he's actually a modeler at Double Negative now, and he used this exact thing for MODO, and for rendering he actually just paid for render farm services. So he had his entire thing real rendered in like a few hours essentially. Drag and drop your model in here and just render it out, and then it's just ready for a showreel.
Yeah, but look at that! Like it's so quick to just get a different feel. Just like move the camera around or turn off a light here and there, and then all of a sudden you have a very different feel to your image.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty cool.
I think for like particularly for show reels and portfolios, it's so important that you present your work well. You can have somebody who presents their, you can have the same model presented in ZBrush, or you can have it presented in properly rendered. And I think the difference can be astronomical, particularly if you're a student or hobbyist and you really want to get into the field. Presenting your work will just going to mean that you're just standing out from your competition now. And I'm not mean that in a marketing jargon. Oh, stand out from your competition. I mean that is actually important, that your work looks better than everyone else's.
Yeah.
Otherwise, your stuff will just go into the pile, and it's just not going to be seen by anyone.
A cool thing about this version is that we've now included a chrome ball, a gray sphere, and a Macbeth chart. So for anyone out there who wants to try to match a certain lighting environment in comp, but they want to tweak it in comp, you now have this available to you. And we've made this based on a real Macbeth chart, so the colors should be fairly comparable.
Yeah. Yeah, this should actually be very, very comparable. It wasn't just get an image from Google, like it's made properly here.
No, we did a lot of research. It's actually made in a lab format in Photoshop, so it should be good to go.
So you can use the gray ball, chrome sphere, and Macbeth chart for two things. First one is actually what it's intended for, which is a looked environment. Where, if you rotate the scene around, you can now see what lighting changes. The second one is it just looks pro. Like if you see a bunch of people do that, they just have the model with the Macbeth chart in there, because now people assume that you know what you're talking about because it's a professional environment here. So we recommend using it because you actually need the functionality for it.
Yes.
Which is if you do run a professional looked environment, you need these charts here. You need to know the mid value of the gray. You need to know all these kind of things here. What does the environment actually look like? But you can also just put it in there, because it just kind of makes it look slightly more pro.
That is pretty cool. I think a really interesting chart is just one thing I've used it for before, not the Macbeth chart, but the lighting scene itself, is I've just set up a sort of like a render queue, and I set up my lights and materials for all, maybe I want 20 different scenes that I like. I set it to render out over maybe a few hours or so, and then I have a selection of things I can pick from. It makes a really fast prototype, and if you have something you need to present to a client, you can show them in different environments, or like which one of these do you like the most, go back, tweak it, and deliver. Yeah.
This is a product which I'm using so often. Well, like essentially all FlippedNormals per promo material has been made in, because we don't have time for anything. Like, we chuck it in here. We just try a couple different versions out. We kind of find our favorites.
Yeah.
Like there is always like one we kind of go back to. And we can also see that this one is one of the cool ones. I use this all the time. We can also see this in ArtStation as well. If you're just going on there, and sometimes we see people, actually a lot of times we see people using the scene here, which is awesome. It's super cool. Like, if you use this, of course you don't have to credit us for that. We just kind of know, because we just know the look for it.
We're so familiar with the lights that we've created, so we see it a lot. I especially see the red clay one, which is like a blue background with a red material. I see that quite often.
Yeah,
now.
Also number 4 as well, Gone Girl.
Oh yeah.
Gone Girl is called Gone Girl because it looks like the poster from the movie Gone Girl.
That was literally the lighting.
We found a bunch of reference for this, and we're like, this is pretty cool. So we see this all the time as well. Super cool. I really enjoy this one.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool setups that you can quickly do with it, and we have a free version available for you to test out. You can play around with it and do whatever you want. We recently re-released a personal version of this. Before this, we had it was only the commercial version, but there's now the personal version, which is available for $40 as well. So I think that should make it more accessible to more people.
Yeah. So we really hope that you enjoy this. Like Morten said, if you just want to play around with a free one, go crazy. Use the free one, duplicate lights, experiment with shaders. Just have fun with it. We'd also love to see what you've done with the scene here. Like if you already used it, or if you used the free one, or if you do get the premium one. We'd just love to see your work here. Like send us an email, or like just tweet to us, or post in the comments. We awesome really enjoy seeing the stuff with it. It's so motivating.
So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching.
Thanks guys.